tomatoes on the reduced shelf at a really awesome grocery store, and I've decided I'm going to pickle some of them. So you start by the tomatoes for a few minutes, and as soon as they get like a split in them, I don't know if you see that split, immediately put them in a bowl of cold water. And in a few minutes you can peel them off and skin them, and they turn out like this, ready to be chopped up. I'm going to be making some chili sauce here. I'm just cooling these ones down after they've been peeled. I still have a little bit on the one on the left, but however, this is what you do. You just wait till they're split and then put them in the cold water. And here's another one right here. Into the cold water it goes until I can handle it and get the skins off. And the skins I've just been putting in the green bin, which is just here, lined with some paper towels. So yeah, just waiting on these to get ready, and soon I will have, hopefully, all of these done and into that bowl. Maybe a couple bowls. Okay, so I'll show you how easy this is to peel. I have Johnny holding the camera right now. You see, it just peels off like that, right? Just peels off, and it doesn't matter if there's bad spots or not. You just peel it off, and then you put this. This is what I do. I don't know if it's right or not, but then I just put it in cold water just for a few minutes to mellow out. And then I'm going to put it all together here, and I'm going to chop it up and get it ready for chili sauce. Hi, okay, so I've got this handy dandy gadget here, and it's pretty cool because I can use it to core the tomatoes, and it's worked out pretty well. So all I have to do is just chop them up in really small pieces, you know, something like this, really small. And just because they're slippery, I've been using this to pick them up with and put them in this big bowl here, which I've already added some celery and some onions to it. Like, I'm just gonna kind of put the celery and the white onions throughout the mixture, and I'm probably gonna have to use both of these bowls because of the amount of tomatoes. They've already started to water up here. I'm not sure if you can see this, but they've watered up here pretty good. And the whole thing is, when you're done mixing the onion, celery, and tomato, I'll probably use both of these bowls. You sprinkle it with half a cup of salt, and that has to be pickling salt. No other kind of salt, but pickling salt, nothing with iodine in it or any other added ingredients. And you put a cheesecloth over it, such as, you know, one like this. This one came from the dollar store. So, you know, cheesecloth, I'll be putting that over top of it in case there's any flies or anything around it overnight. And in the morning, I'll drain the juice off. Then I'll put what's left in a great big pot on the stove to cook. Okay, so I've got everything into one bowl. I couldn't believe it. Everything fit in one bowl, and the celery and onions are all in here gathered nicely together to meld. Now, I'm about to add a half a cup of salt, and make sure that this is not the iodinized kind, but the pickling kind. And the recipe says just to sprinkle it over the top. I don't think you really have to mix it in. I suppose there are people that do that, but yeah, just sprinkle it on top. Cover it as best you can. And then cover it with cheesecloth for the night, because it has to sit overnight. And tomorrow I'll take the liquid that's accumulated inside here, I'll drain it all off, and I'll cook the rest of this down. But in the meantime, just as it was sitting here waiting, I got this much juice out of it with the tomatoes, the celery, and the onions all together. I thought, wouldn't this be kind of cool to taste? It's very sweet. We will cook this up tomorrow and we'll see what happens. Okay, it's the next morning and I have removed the cheesecloth off the bowl, and what I've been doing is just taking this and straining it in this. There's no point in keeping any of the juice from this. It's just that you have to strain it. There's a lot of water, a lot of juice that is coming here. It's very, very salty. You can't drink it. This will end up going down the drain, this liquid. But in the meantime, I'm just straining this, just letting it drain a little bit at a time, and I'm putting it in this great big pot. There's still liquid in this, so I might strain it again. So after I'm done that, I'll start the cooking process. I've been cutting up some green pepper. I've already added 2 cups of vinegar and 5 cups of sugar to this. And we'll be turning this on as soon as I put this in, and some pickling spices. So, stay tuned. We'll do some more in a bit. Just so you know, when it called for 2 cups of vinegar, I did 1.5 cups of pickling vinegar and 1/2 cup of pure white vinegar. I am about to add pickling spices, and I didn't exactly know how much 1/2 ounce of pickling spice was, so I Googled it. And it turns out it's 3 teaspoons for 1/2 ounce of pickling spice. So I'm going to put that in this little bag that I made. Now I didn't have any spice bags, so I just sewed it and put a string through it with a drawstring. So that should be sufficient enough to put the pickling spices into the pot. Okay, so this has been simmering pretty well. I've taken the lid off to take some of the moisture out of it, because it is a little bit runny, but I stir it once in a while. I stir it. The spice bag is in here somewhere. There it is, right there. So there's the spice bag full of the spices, and I just leave it submerged in there. Meanwhile, I have this pot on low, just slowly waiting to process cans, because I'm going to be putting these in here. These have been sterilized and are now sitting in the keep warm cycle of the stove, so that when I put the hot stuff jars, they're not going to crack. So we're good to go. Ready and waiting. Okay, I just took the lid off of this, and I'll be taking these out and putting them over there. So, yeah, and then I'll put in the next batch that I just finished putting the lids on. Well, I took the lid off so that you can see the second batch it's on its go. And I've already done this many, 6 jars. So there's 6 more jars in there of chili sauce. So they should be ready soon, and they'll be put here with the other one after about, while we're waiting for that to cook a little bit. I just wanted to show you something, just a helpful hint. I have, well, for example, I have sterilized these. I wrap them in clean plastic. I keep them in a box, and when it's time to use them, I just put them in the oven on a tray to re-sterilize them a little bit and on keep warm cycle actually. And then they're all ready to have contents put into them and then put in a hot water 10-minute processing bath, depending on what's in them. Sometimes it's 15 minutes, but I just wanted to show you that it's a nice way to keep them clean, and I have them in a box, and I'll put all these things in the basement ready to go with a lid on it. So there they are. They're out sitting for 24 hours on trivets, and I'm quite pleased with the way they turned out, and I had a little bit extra to taste. I've got some sitting in a bowl here to have maybe for breakfast with sausages and mashed potatoes and eggs and toast. I think that would be awesome.